Hello everyone, this is the Sports Spiral, and today I'm going to review and preview a few weeks of college football. So I'm just going to get right into reviewing week 10, then I'll pick and review week 11, and then pick week 12, and then soon the video will come out with week 12 review and week 13 preview. But for now, I'm just going to review week 10. So this week I went 14-2 out of 73-34 on the season. So some highlights from this week. Ohio State, they weren't able to put too much of a distance between themselves and Nebraska, but still Nebraska failed, lost another game. Then we had a very high-scoring matchup, but in the end, North Carolina upsets Wake Forest 58-55. Ole Miss handled Liberty and Malik Willis 27-14. Purdue pulled off an upset, and they really didn't have too much trouble against Michigan State. They won 40-29 in an upset there. Cincinnati squeaked by Tulsa 28-20. Texas A&M blew out Auburn. And I don't know if it was at this point because this was previously, but Auburn did lose Bo Nix in one game, so he will be out for the rest of the season. So that is unfortunate for Auburn, but it's not like they're having a dream season at this point. Arkansas won a close SEC matchup versus Mississippi State. Alabama barely won versus LSU. That was a lower scoring game, and I would expect it to be a higher scoring game, but I guess it was a lower scoring one. And then Tennessee won a high scoring game versus Kentucky. Oregon didn't have too much trouble versus Washington, but they didn't blow them out. And Michigan was able to handle Indiana 29-7. So yeah, week 10, not too many surprises this week. I'm going to move on to week 11 now. So my picks, I picked North Carolina over Pitt. Yeah, so you can have a look at my picks there, but for now I'm just going to get right into the review. I was 9-4 this week in my season. It's 132-35. So I believe my total for week 10, that's from the NFL. So don't mind that. My total is actually 123-34 or 41 after week 10. So then, yeah, I'm 132-45 at this point. So Pitt, they were able to stay on top of North Carolina 30-23 in overtime. Cincinnati, they put up the points for USF, but they allowed 28 points. So a 45-28 win for Cincinnati, who's vying to get into the playoff. An easy win for Alabama over New Mexico State. Michigan won a hard-fought battle versus Penn State 21-17. Oklahoma dropped their first game versus Baylor and likely is out of the playoff conversation now. Ole Miss won a high-scoring game versus Auburn. Georgia handled Tennessee, but they did allow the most points they have all season to the Volunteers, 17 points, which is pretty funny that that's the most all season. Ohio State, they held off Purdue's upset. Purdue is a team that loves to upset other big teams, but they could not do it versus Ohio State. They scored 31 points, but Ohio State's offense was just too much. Oklahoma State, they quieted TCU 63-17, so maybe a contender there. Ole Miss won Texas versus Texas A&M 29-19. So I do have a bit of a problem here. Let me go check it out because I put Ole Miss twice. Sorry about that. I think Auburn was playing Mississippi State though that week. And yeah, so Auburn played Mississippi State, and Texas A&M lost to Ole Miss that week. And then Uh, Notre Dame, they handled Virginia 28-3. Wake Forest won 45-42, and Oregon didn't have too much trouble against Washington State 38-24. So then here it's week 12. I think Georgia will have an easy game versus Charleston Southern. I think that's, yeah. So, easy game there. Ohio State should have no problems for Michigan State team that's on the way down. Clemson, I think they get it done versus Wake Forest. They're on the way up. Oklahoma, yeah, I think they're going to be able to recover from the loss and beat Iowa State. It's not going to be a convincing blowout, though. So, yeah, Texas, it's really struggling. I think they'll lose to West Virginia. Iowa, they're an okay team at this point, should be able to beat Illinois. Some other games here. Alabama going against Arkansas. I think Alabama will get the job done there. Cincinnati's going against a better team in SMU, so going to be a closer game. Maybe a good one to watch, but I think Cincinnati gets it done. Michigan should have limited problems against Maryland. Some other games here. The Florida Gators have really struggled. I think they will lose another game to Missouri here, 41-35. Baylor, they won versus Oklahoma, but I do think their lose to Kansas State just feels like an upset to me. Auburn should be able to fend off South Carolina, but they are without quarterback Bo Nix. And Utah, this just feels like an upset. I think Utah was favored in this one. And Utah has been a good team, not a playoff team, but they've been a good team. And I think they get it done versus Oregon and knock Oregon out of the playoff entirely. Ole Miss should have no problems against a bad Vanderbilt team. And then Oklahoma State should be able to beat Texas Tech. So those are my picks. Please make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And this is the Sports Spiral. Bye.